time for another Alyx Saturday. I bet there are no mods again this week. Oh. Wait. What the f... It turns out that on top of several other standalone mods, the new Vault Maps Trapped mods are ready to play. Unfortunately, none of them are good enough to review, so I'll see you all next week.
Got him!
Look, we've got mods up the butt this week, so I'm going to break it down nice and easy for you. Before we get into that, just a heads up on two things. First, I'll be streaming the new Walking Dead game, Onslaught, next Tuesday and Wednesday here on this channel. And the other heads up is that I have some game keys that I don't want, so I figured I'd give them away here instead of letting them go to waste. More on that at the end, since none of you came here for that. You came here for mods, so let's get started with an item. Energetic hands make the charged up hands from the campaign available to you at any point in the campaign. Just do some hand poses and prepare the charge, and it will be available for 10 seconds until you need to recharge them. I personally don't think that these are a great addition to the campaign, as it would make the campaign extremely easy, but it is cool that we at least have the option. Goon Squad starts you off with two friendly Combine companions. They assist you lightly, and you'll have a good time with your goons. Until Jeff takes them from you. Jeff will haunt your adventure for the majority of the middle section of the map, and it's a well done encounter. The map uses some innovative puzzles not previously experienced. There's less shooting and more puzzle solving and navigating through the world. I think Jeff bugged out in one area, which is a bummer because it would have been a really intense area to try avoiding him. The level design is superb, and the map works so well I wasn't at all taken out of the moment, except for the Jeff bug. The atmosphere might be the only thing lacking in this one, but for a dark map, it's good enough. I highly recommend this to anyone looking for a solid experience. Return to Rapture is an incredible reproduction of the first chapter from Bioshock. The level design, texture, lighting, and the models are almost exactly like the original game. The Combine soldiers make decent splicers, surprisingly. It has some funny Easter eggs left by the creator, and he even went as far as putting in custom voice lines mimicking the original game's Would You Kindly.
But I still need to configure this to your DNA. Would you kindly hack the main panel for me?
It has innovative mechanics with machines, like the resin machine, which looks like the Gatherer's Garden, the ammo and toy machine, which looks like the Circus of Values, and the save points, which look like Vita chambers. There's even a cassette player with some voice recordings from the original game, and that's a pretty neat detail. This map is only a small sample of Bioshock, as everything related to Bioshock, like the machines, weren't very useful, but all of it did add to the atmosphere to make it feel quite a bit like Bioshock. Just a few criticisms: the music and the voiceovers weren't loud enough, and the combat wasn't particularly interesting. It might have been better with an inclusion of the supercharged gloves to act as the electricity plasmid from the original game. This seems like an obvious missed opportunity, but it could be way more difficult than I think. This is one franchise that I feel doesn't really work with Alyx as a foundation, but the creator really pulled off something special with this one. If you'd like more chapters of Bioshock's campaign, you can support the creator on Patreon. The Lost Case 7 is one of the best in its series. Like every other Lost Case episode... Wait, is that Obama? Like every other Lost Case episode, this one has a central theme, and that theme is running away from Jeff while opening a bunch of doors and shooting headcrabs. It's definitely a great implementation of Jeff, almost as good as the campaigns. The only downfall of this mod is its performance. Like the other episodes, this one suffers from poor frame rates too, so just be prepared for that. There are the usual displays of bodies and scenes from the past, which are always nice touches. It's a solid addition to the series and a very solid map to play. Jeff was a touch more difficult to maneuver around in this one, so I don't recommend it to beginners. Sector Sweep is another map with friendly NPCs. It has fantastic atmosphere and lighting, but not much gameplay aside from shooting some zombies, and it's very short, around 5 minutes. Goon Squad stands above this one in terms of a friendly Combine mod, but this mod's atmosphere is far better. Alyx in Wonderland has a mind-blowing mechanic. Drop the blue ball and you shrink to the size of a mouse where it falls. The red ball resets your height back to normal. This makes for a really interesting puzzle inside of an apartment. I had a lot of fun exploring, and it felt almost like a completely different game from Alyx. You'll need to switch between small and normal size to complete tasks and find your way to the end. However, I never made it to the end. Apparently, if you throw the ball inside of a hole, or maybe it's just bad luck, you'll teleport to the outside of the map and die. This would be no big deal. Just reload the save file and pick it back up where you left off. But my game completely failed to operate as it was before. I even tried restarting the game, but something inside the code must have broken permanently. I hope you have more luck than I did. Let me know what happens at the end. Backtrack is a cool concept of returning to the same area on your way through the map. The level design is very basic and bland most of the way through, only getting interesting in the last few minutes. It's an average experience overall, but because it's well done, I feel it belongs in the really cool category. The hovering text that assists the story is interesting, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think the corridor-style map has run its course, so if it's not great level design that makes the map stand out, it's going to have some atmosphere, mechanics, or gameplay that does. If you're looking for a typical but fun map with a twist in its design, you'll probably enjoy this one. Escasis is a little bit of a hodgepodge. The first half was really interesting, with a sort of multi-dimensional adventure, but the last half just kind of sucked. I'm only mentioning it for its use of the multi-dimensional doors. I think there's some potential to create a longer and better campaign using these. Redemption is a short mod that resembles the movie Shawshank Redemption, where you try to escape from a jail. It's very simple and it uses a cool idea of breaking barriers using a hammer. Though the hammer is more like a pool noodle, but your hand with the lighter is a freaking Hulk hand. The map is pretty janky. I repeatedly got stuck on debris, and I had a pretty difficult time getting into the pipe to start with. This map is neat, but I don't recommend it to anyone looking for a fun time. Apartment Complexity is basically an apartment that is a puzzle itself. It's an escape room setting that has puzzles that unlock more puzzles. I enjoy the innovative puzzles and would like to see more non-Alyx puzzles. And by that, I'm referring to the common hacking puzzles that you see in the campaign. If you like escape room type maps, you'll definitely enjoy this one, and it should only take you about 10 minutes. Light the Way as a map is pretty bad, but it did use a shield that we have not yet seen. You can put the shield in your wrist pocket and it will still be active, and this is super useful. The only bad thing about the shield is that the angle of the shield while inside of your wrist pocket is really terrible. It forces you to hold your wrist awkwardly. I don't recommend trying this mod unless you're interested in perfecting the shield, as neither the shield or the map are worth much in my opinion. Alyx Prison is a prison escape map. It has a cool little cell phone thing that you can use to monitor the camera outside, but its usefulness in this mod is extremely little. It could be cool to see a better version of this used as a core mechanic in another mod. The map itself is okay, it's got a little polish, and while the level design isn't very interesting, it does have some decent gameplay. There are other mods you can spend your time playing instead of this one, if you're only looking for the best of its kind. Zombie City is a basic zombie shooting map, reminiscent of an apocalyptic scene like Left 4 Dead. It isn't the most polished map out there, but it is probably enjoyable to someone looking for zombie slaying. It does change pace about 10 minutes in, and it becomes more combine combat oriented, and I never made it to the end, because the end didn't seem like it was coming when it said it was. The name Zombie City makes no misrepresentations, so you'll enjoy this map if you just want to turn off your brain and bust some zombies. Now back to that game key giveaway. I don't know if any of these games are good, but if you're interested, just comment with RIP Peter's Inbox. I'll randomly draw a comment in 48 hours and reply to the winner's comment to set up an exchange. The game's Steam pages are in the description below, and if you don't want any that you win, I'll draw again to dish out the rest. I'll probably do more giveaways like this in the future, so there will be many opportunities to grab a few free games. With that said, enjoy the mods. I'd love to see you in the stream on Tuesday of The Walking Dead Onslaught. But until next week, we'll be seeing you.